So we have a topic open up, right? So we have a topic called open up, yeah. Or we refer it as info spokes. In old versions, now we call it as open up destinations. In old versions, we had it as info spokes. There is a concept called open up. As part of open up, we used to create info spokes. But the latest version, we have something called open up destinations. Yeah. The purpose of this is retractions. When you're extracting data from different source to BW, we refer it as extraction. But from BW, if you're taking it back to different system, we call that as retractions. Okay, it's very simple. Now let's see this first. Then will discuss what was there in old. Because now the old one is not supported. Yeah. Very, very simple. If you really know about loading from cube to cube data mode, this is a really simple one. Say for example, I have this data in a cube, some cube. Added 0 now. Okay, we'll take this one. Okay, boss. I have got some cube. Okay. Now from this cube, I would like to place my data into an Excel file. Okay. That's the first example. Okay. Open up destination. Yeah. Just get to this menu. Open up destination. Select any info area. Right click. Say what? Create. Open up destination. Just give your destination name. Yeah. Some description. Okay. And then info area is this. Template ante say you're creating a destination. Destination will have two major things. One is target, where you need to put in, whether it is a Excel CSV file or what type of file, or is it a table, or is it some other third party ETL tool, what it is. And then it will have something like in data, when you're extracting from some source, how do you use data source? We still have transfer structure. Same when you're sending it back, what structure or what fields you're sending is again you'll have some structure there. So I want that structure to be formulated based on the cube automatically. And I'm giving this cube now. So what happens? It takes all the information of the cube and formulates a structure. It automatically creates transformations, database, everything. First time I want to do it manually, then I'll show you automatically. So this This is the destination. We see now destination could be a database table, or it could be a file, or you want to trigger this through. You can create a destination and use this as a source in BODS. So you want to put into a table in BW, then you will say table. You want to put it a file. If you want to create a destination and you want to use this in a BODS as a source object, I can use third party tool. Okay. So I'll say now what is it? File. Whether you want, if I just don't select this, then what? Your file will be in your local system. Okay, I want this into my local system. So which folder? Open up is my folder, and it's a CSV file, and data subject should be commos. Okay, boss. And if you select this, it places that into server application. And in the fields definition, what fields do you want in the Excel? Into the file, what all fields? It by default takes all the columns of the cube. If you want, you can just remove the certain columns if you don't need. Suppose I don't need this quarter. I don't need a month. If you don't need some of them, you can just always remove. I don't want a week also. Okay, and one more thing is sequence is also important. You can move up and down. Okay, you can basically move it to. You can add explicitly. You can just say add row, and then take this field, move like that directly. Take this info. Like this, you can, very important, because when they're expecting a file, they would expect in certain sequence. Then you can move up and down and set up the sequence if you want. Activate my destination will have the destination where target and what is my destination structure. It says we cannot use in the projections because it is a local file. Yeah? And then once the destination is created, from where do you want this destination to be filled from? Cube. So right click on the destination, say what? Create transformations, and the source is what? Cube, and target is destination. It's like normal transformation. Start routine, end routine, normal transformation. You can write in, you can do any transformation you want. And then what? Right click, create. Instead of doing all this manual, if you would have enabled the checkbox, it would have created the DTP and all the stuff. I can say execute. Okay, 50,000 records been put in. Fail అయిందంట. Extracting what? So invalid cursor. దీంట్లో ఉన్నాయి లెవెల్స్. So it will have DTP also. Okay. You see this file is created. One will be data file, one is header file, and one which is prefixed with S underscore is header file, which has heading of the columns, and one without underscore S, it is like data file. You can open. This is a data file. I can see. This semicolon separator వచ్చింది. I could have changed it. మార్చలేదు నేను, కామా పెట్టలేదు. అదే మరి. So it is semicolon. So I see this database, but if you want to see but I don't know which column belongs to what. And you have an header column, which header file. First column is order number, next is product, next is customer. You have a separate header file and separate data file. This is how it comes when you go with destinations. Okay. I can also have destination from table. A server it goes and places into the dear underscore home folder. That's okay. A table it creates a table automatically with the naming /base/oh open up, and then something delete data from table. Deleting data from table means what? Every time I'm filling, I want drop and reload or what? Okay. And then technical, if I select technical keys, automatically the table will have technical keys like request number, data packet, record number as technical primary key. What that is semantic keys, it will only place characteristics as key fields. And then say, okay, field definition is fine. And I can say, sorry, semantic, delete data before loading, activate. Suppose if you want any specific database you want, let's say you want to put this table to be created into some other Oracle database, you can have a DB connection and give the connection name here. Then it creates a table into the database. Okay.
Only data store object cube.
And we can only pick from one. It says, can I pick data only from multiple providers? We don't have that option. But if you see, that's fine. Gone. To the first table this. You see the data coming into a table, and the characteristics are my keys because I said semantic keys. But if you said technical keys, you will get the request number, data packet, record number into that. And other applications can start referring to this table because there will be some application which can't understand our queue. So we'll put into a table and give them the table. Okay. Like say BODs can take this table as a source and they can extract into some other applications. Queue directly. Okay. Then there's something which multiple targets. For example, I have open up, right click and say create transformation. Right click, say create transformations, and I can use what is this here? Multi-provider as a source. So build join queues, create multi-provider, then use that as a source and extract if you want multiple. Okay. Next, you can create it to third-party tool. Now here I'll have to specify the RFC connection which is connecting my BODS and BW bus. Ikkada naaku ledu, but petti activate chesinaka you'll have fields. In the BODs they can take naaku inga systems appagalaru repu definitely ga set aitundi BODs integration chupista, but then they can take this into BODS as a source. Atla, not only BODS, data stage gani, informatica gani, they can access this open up directly. If you say third party tool. So when they'll trigger a job there, which will trigger my destination, extract, and then they take the data and process it and put it into some other application. Atla, if you want to trigger open up through some third party ETL tools, we set destination as third party tool. Okay, right? I'll show output tomorrow on extracting through BODS, through open up to BODS. I'll show it tomorrow maximum. Net toast, okay.
You can send data to HANA also.
If you want to use BW as a source and send it, you can do that. So let's say I've got data in BW cube. You create open up, use BODS, where open up will be source and target is HANA database. I can do that also. In 3.x, we had something called open up info spokes. So you go like this, tools. దీంట్లో మొత్తానికి ఎత్తేసాను. దీనికి మొత్తానికి లేదన్న, ముందు దాంట్లో కొద్దిగానే ఉంటాండే. అట్లీస్ట్ వీ కూడా actually there should be menu called open up service, then it will have like create info spoke, change info spoke, and you'll have option. Ultimately screen is different. There also is specify what is my source, what is destination, but only thing is in open up service info spokes for transformations we used to use baddies. అక్కడ ఒక చెక్ బాక్స్ ఉంటుంది. when you say create transformation using baddies, and it creates one class. You have to open the class in SC24, and within that you'll have a method called transform. You got to go into the method and start writing your logic. But if it is open up, you can perform your transformations with normal transformations in cube, normal BW transformations. Normally when you're doing with open up, I explicitly worked 6 months purely on this topic only. When you, let's say what kind of transformation, like we are putting it from cube to file, and the file was becoming huge. So we want to reduce the data. What we did is, there were some lot of records with all its keywords were zeros. There was amount and quantity in the key figures, and there are a lot of records with where amount and quantity both are zero. We didn't want those kind of records. We used to use open up, then create lots of big program, then baddies, all those. Now it's very simple. I can just go with start routine, loop, set delete result package where my amount is equal to 0 and quantity is equal to 0 and records it. Can I do that? So generally when you deal with open up, you tend to get the problems with the sizing of the files. And you got huge data getting into the files, then you have to control that. Then in some case what they do, they use some, can I use selections in the DTP? And you control, they try to give sales for the year 2015 file, 2016 file, they try to split up into multiple files and they give it also. Okay, boss? And you asked me, can I do from multiple providers? When we used to work on open up, we never had that flexibility. Then what we used to do is, we used to create a open up info spoke on one cube. By using the transformation with baddies, we get this data, do lookup to another cube, get those data, put explicitly into the coding, and then send it. We used to do like that. But now straight away we can do it on multi-providers. Much simplified process. Now wanted, this is from B not 7.8, from 7.0 we have this option. So now everyone is using open up destination. There's no one who is using info spokes. But we had some concept. So if I go to RSA1, I want to show you that menu. Okay. If I go to the T code RSA1 old, which is old settings, go to tools, there is something, what is here? Open up, create info spoke, change info spoke, display. So create info spoke content on the bus. This transaction is completely absolute now. Start going into what? Open up. Kotta jalante open up. If you want edit something which is already there, okay, go to info spokes. You cannot create new one. It is not supporting you to create new one. You can only change. If it's already old ones are there, you want to change, okay. But if you want to create, it is default to what? Open up only. నాకు ఒడుగు లేదు చేంజ్ చేద్దామంటే స్క్రీన్ చూపించక కూడా లేదన్నట్టు ఆప్షన్. బట్ దేర్ వాజ్ సంథింగ్ కాల్డ్ ఇన్ఫో స్పోక్స్ విచ్ విస్ టు యూజ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఓపెన్ అప్ సర్వీస్ టు రిట్రాక్ట్ డేటా. ఓకే, ఇంతే. దిస్ ఇస్ ఓపెన్ అప్ డెస్టినేషన్. నేనైతే బుక్ కూడా చూడలేదు. రైట్లీ బుక్ కొడతాంటే అదే వస్తాను. దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ సింపుల్ టాపిక్. ఓకే.